Hey, top of the morning to you. I'm Michael. Grandkids call me Roo because, well, I doodle roosters most of the time. But starting in 2020, Carol and I, in January of 2020, had been to a Young Life event, and we were given a box as we walked out the door, about a 5 by 8, 5.5 by 8.5 box, and inside it were 4 of these little black journals, and they're the Gospels: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And so we took those things home, and I put them on a shelf, and then I put them on the mantle, and then I put them on my desk, and then I wandered around with them for about a month and a half, thinking, what am I going to do with these? It's not like I don't have another Bible. Um, and uh, and so, I recognized this is good news, and I thought maybe I just need to bring more good news into me every day. This is not good news. This is not Roo's good news. This is Goodnewsroo. This lets me just bring it into myself. And so I thought, what if I just opened up Matthew and started reading a story and then doing what I do in church sometimes. I carry a notebook and a watercolor pad. I carry some little paints with me, and I try to sit down out of the way somewhere so people aren't watching what I'm doing. I just draw things to help to remember. Draw to remember, sort of what I call it. I sketch, I doodle, I fiddle around with the pen. It's part of what brings it in. A picture to me is worth everything. I can remember better. So I thought, what if I do that? And so I started opening up the Bible, and I got to these stories. This little story here, even where this angel appears to Mary, and I just drew this little, what I call a carrot person, in the words of Bob Burgess. I just put color on my pen, and I put it, or my brush, I put it here, and I pushed down and swiped it, and I went, that's a person, a little pregnant lady. I knew what this was about, and so the next day I got up, I made a cup of tea, and I did another one. I drew a little, just a little rendition of Bethlehem, kind of a crude little thing. I didn't even draw this with pencil. I just started making little building marks based on what I remember being there. It's just, I remember power lines and mess and things everywhere, but I thought it was here at this place. Out of this little place shall come a ruler. Now I remember what chapter 2 is all about. And then there was this trip over to Israel, and then there's Ramah. Rachel is weeping for her children, and there's no consoling her, for she has lost them. And then there's John the Baptist comes on the scene, and he says, hey, the axe is in the root of the tree. And then Jesus is taken out to a high place. See, it just goes on and on. So that year I got up and I went through Matthew, and I realized I went through it pretty rapidly, actually. And what happened was I got better at sketching, but I also got better at remembering the stories. And how powerful was that to me? One day I was doing my painting show, and someone saw a sketch like this, and they said, why'd you draw that salt shaker? And I said, oh, that's in a Bible journal. I was on Facebook, and I said, because I remember when I see this salt shaker, it reminds me that I'm supposed to be worth my salt. I'm supposed to be salt. I'm supposed to flavor. That means I have to come in contact with people. It means I'm supposed to heal people. It means I'm helped to preserve and persevere in this life to move forward. Salt has a lot of uses, but those are the 3 that Jesus says here. So I remember that. And then I went on and on and on. The point is, I've been doing this now for 3 years. And I started doing it on Patreon on a private page, and I've had all these beautiful people join me, and now they're drawing pictures in their Bibles, and they're remembering the stories. So I get to come on, and I get to tell a story about saying, Spirit like a dove came down. And then I get to tell things like the day that he opened the scroll, it was about him, and he read it, and then he walked on the water. And look, my drawings have gotten better. I'm still sketching with a pen, and I'm just throwing some watercolor paint in there. I can always go back. It's thin paper, and people say, well, I can't draw. Well, you can make letters. And so you write the word water, and you put a little blue in it. You let it go through your head, out your arm, onto the paper, and you remember it. I remember it better when I draw to remember. So starting in April of this year, I'm going to offer this just on this YouTube channel. And so that's what this little intro is about. If you'd like to join me, subscribe to this channel. It's called Goodnewsroo. Just go ding, and then it'll come up, and you'll know where to go. It doesn't cost anything. You don't have to be a part. Some people who support me in Patreon have given me, a small group of people say, hey, we'll help support while you just keep doing that. But I show up and do this anyway. Would you join me with a cup of coffee, cup of tea? We'll take a sip. I'll tell a story. I'll do a little research here for you, and I'll say, this is what I think it means. I'm not a theologian. I'm not a ordained pastor. I'm not a Bible scholar or teacher. I'm just a man who has a relationship with Jesus and believes that this is the word. and that he is the Word, and he was the Word, and the Word came. And this is how I keep it inside me. So I'm going to draw it to remember. If you want to be a part of that, invite your friends, come and be, and let's see what happens. Starting in, I'll send you an email if you want. You can go to my YouTube site, or you can go to my website, roodoodles@gmail.com, and I'll put a little piece there about how to be a part of this. That'll happen in the next week or so. This, I know what this is without even reading it. It's in John 10 when he says, I'm the gate. He starts his I am series. See, all that comes back. But this little sheep says, whoa, hold on a second. I heard that voice. I heard my name. Wow. Makes me remember, huh? Hey, Goodnewsroo. And if you'd like to join me, please do so. I am out of here, and I'll see you soon with more information.